back to Operation Football Preview, our final episode of the regular season.
That's all right.
If you can believe it, we've made it all the way to the end. It's week 10.
Hard to believe. Season has flown by, and we've seen a lot of great football games throughout these 10 weeks, and we're going to get a chance to talk about playoffs next week. It'll be our final episode for the 2025 season overall, just because, a handful of teams kind of left the rest of the way after that first round, but we'll be sure to include them over on Two Sports Overtime. But starting with, an exciting time of the year, as, there's the conferences are usually sorted out by this time in terms of the conference champions, whether it's a split division conference or overall. But there's still very realistic playoff pushes for a lot of these teams trying to get some final computer points to either make it in or just improve their seedings. But when we talk about one of the closest conferences, it's hard not to talk about what's been going on in the GWAC. And we'll get to that here in a little bit, but a tight race coming down to the wire. It seems like Springfield may be able to hold on, but it got a little closer than maybe anybody would have thought. So excited to take a look into that one, as well as recapping the Southwestern Buckeye League. But we'll kind of start in the MVL as we traditionally do, recapping our Week 9 game of the week, and so much anticipation leading up for this one. A battle of 9-0s. Tip was 8-0. Troy was 7-1 overall, so a battle of 7-0s. It's now Week 9, so it's making me think, or Week 10, so it's now making me think they're 9-0. But
unbeaten in league play.
Unbeaten in league play, exactly. And this was essentially for the Miami division in the MVL, neighboring rivals that don't like each other very much. And Tippecanoe just kind of showed up and said, this is who we are, and this is why we own this league, and kind of left no doubt about it in this one. It was a pretty good game from start to finish for the Red Devils, and Larkin Thomas and company kind of just doing what they do best.
Yeah, and really what was shocking to see from these numbers is 113 rush yards from quarterback Larkin Thomas. We normally see him as more of what you just saw there, a downfield threat as a passer, not so much as a rusher. But 113 rush yards for Larkin Thomas, another 98 from Xavier Melton. He had 2 touchdowns. So, just an overall offensive and defensive.
Yeah.
Troy limited to only 130 yards, 82 through the air, 48 on the ground.
Oh, my gosh.
Which is crazy because, you look at these two teams and just Troy looks so much bigger even.
Right.
And they are Division I versus Tip being Division III, and so to see Tip go out there and really dominate from start to finish, I guess I was a little surprised. I know how good Tip is, but still, you still expect it to be a little closer, more competitive than it ended up being.
Yeah, you're going to love this right here. Look at Burbacher. I guess I'm covering him. He was fired up after that catch, that toe tap from Max Decker, but yeah, I mean, it was all 3 phases: special teams, defense, offense. You saw the blocked field goal earlier there. I mean, Troy just could not get anything going. And when you look at, what they were able to allow, I mean, they held Troy to just, where is the Troy yardage here? 82 yards through the air. That is it. 11 completions just from Aiden Kirkpatrick. And how about 48 total rushing yards? So dominant stuff from that Tip defense. It was a little shocking to see, maybe not overly surprising, but just based on what we've seen from Troy, especially that win back in, I believe, was it Week 3 that they beat Xenia?
It was either 2 or 3.
Yeah, it seemed that eyeing this one, Week 2, yeah. It seemed that eyeing this one down the road for Week 9 was going to, kind of turn out to be what it did, what it didn't to be. We expected it to be, a lot closer maybe, and seeing what this Troy team had done up until that point with just the one loss in the season opener to Middletown Madison, an 8-point loss. They had rolled ever since. We figured, okay, they're gonna give Tip a little hassle here, and that was just not the case at all. Xavier Melton finished with 2 touchdowns as well in that game, and the Red Devils went on to win it 21-0. Complete game shutout. Touchdown in the first quarter, touchdown in the second quarter, touchdown in the third quarter. No points scored in the fourth, and just kind of defensive domination from Tip as well. We've seen them so good offensively, but to see what they've done overall, 367 total yards to 130 is pretty astounding. So Red Devils still undefeated. They haven't lost a game since September of 2023. So they kind of are on a little historic Marion Local-esque win streak of their own. Not quite in that same category, but cool to see Matt Bergbacher and the crew buzzing as they are surely to most likely lock up that number 1 seed for the region as it was looking, right?
As of Tuesday, they have overtaken London once again. Obviously, getting a Division I win really boosted their computer points. I don't know who London has this week, but right now, Tippecanoe has about 2 points over London in the computer rankings. So, Tip should get this last win. They should absolutely. Who do they have this week?
Let's see. Tippecanoe has, I believe it is West Carrollton, one of our still, unfortunately, winless teams on the air. It's been a rough year for the Pirates.
So that should be
a Tippecanoe win.
A win and a 4th straight MVL title right? Is that right? 4 straight?
Correct.
Or 3 in the last 4?
4 straight.
4 straight.
4 straight.
I get my teams mixed up with some of these.
No, because the MVL site is missing 1 year.
That's right.
So 4 straight for Tip. They already have at least a share of it right now.
Right,
So they could lose in the largest upset ever, but it's not going to happen. So.
Whether they'll get that 1 seed kind of remains to be seen based on who London has this week.
London has Kenton Ridge, Central Buckeye Conference foe. Kenton Ridge is 1-3 in conference play and 5-4 overall. London has been the class of that league, one of the best teams in the area, still undefeated. Fun fact for London, they have not allowed a single point in conference play. They have shut out every single team. Now, the CBC, and as Kayler kind of learns stuff here, the CBC for her first year, the CBC is not one of the better leagues in our area. There's a couple teams that are dominating everybody else, and then there's just kind of everybody else. London is one of those teams, along with Jonathan Alder. However, when you look at who London has faced, 42-0 over Graham, 47-0 over Urbana, 48-0 over Bellefontaine, 38-0 over Jonathan Alder, the next best team, by the way, 37-0 over Tecumseh. So if history repeats itself for London, they are looking at a perfect 10-0 season and a win over Kenton Ridge. It's the same thing they kind of do every year. Last year, they were 10-0 as well. I want to say 2023, London was 10-0, so they are one of the premier teams. And if Tip were to ever have to play them, which would be hopefully the regional final, that would be
should be, because they'll be 1 and 2
right
in that region.
It would be quite the contest, and I don't know if Tip has played them in the years past. Looking at some recent years from Tippecanoe, no, I haven't. Going back to 2021, they have not played London, or maybe not gotten far enough to play London. Tip's closest chance was in 2022. When I believe they were in the state semifinal. So they did not have to run into London that year somehow. So London must have got knocked out by somebody else. But either way, all eyes going to kind of be on this Tippecanoe team kind of as we go forward with postseason coming up. So excited to see what they have in store for them. And, looking to have a second straight perfect season, assuming they do beat West Carrollton on Friday here for Week 10. We mentioned we're going to get to the GWAC here. We might as well take a look at that right now. A wild kind of shaped up now here going into Week 10. Springfield suffering their first GWAC loss of the year to Fairmont, 10-7. They're now 5-1, still holding on to solo first place with 1 week left. But Springboro beats Centerville. Obviously, Fairmont moves up with their win over Springfield. But the big story of the night was, how about the Beaver Creek Battling Beavers taking down Wayne 20-17. It was their first win over the Warriors since 2012. I don't even know what the comparison. I think 2012 I was in 4th grade. No, that's way too far.
I was in 6th.
Freshman year of high school.
I was in 6th.
8th grade, yeah. So forever ago. So, I mean, that's just a huge win for Trey Smitherman and the Beavers. So the standings of how the GWAC is now shaped out is, as I mentioned, Springfield 5-1 in conference play, sitting at that top spot, followed by 4-2 Springboro, 4-2 Wayne, 4-2 Fairmont. Now, we don't expect Springfield to give away their GWAC title at this stage. It is theirs to lose. They have a winless Northmont team coming to their place on Friday. That would be another shocking kind of upset loss. So assumingly, if Springfield were to win, it is their GWAC title outright. First one they won since they won back-to-back in 2021 and 2022. When Bryce Schottelmeyer, Dayton quarterback, was quarterbacking that team when they went to the state finals a couple years in a row, 3 years in a row, rather, all losing. So Springfield kind of churning at this point in the season, as Maurice Douglas's team typically does. They're kind of a late bloomer. But for whatever reason, as we've seen crazy things happen, if Springfield were to lose, they would finish 4-2. And we could see some wild stuff happening with the
5-2.
Or sorry, thank you, 5-2. And we could see some wild stuff happening with those that are 4-2 in Springboro, Wayne, and Fairmont. Fairmont has Beaver Creek. Look out, another maybe upset alert. Wayne has Centerville in a rivalry. Always a great Week 10 rivalry between those two. Maybe not as much this year. Centerville's kind of down. But Springboro has Miamisburg. So as it stands, it's Springfield's to lose, but could get interesting to see if there's any sharing or any moving up.
That would be breaking news. Sound the alarm bells if Springfield loses to a winless Northmont.
Yeah, it would. It would have been the second biggest story after Wayne and Beaver Creek, following only Anna beating Marion Local, if that were to happen.
I was about to say, it's second to only Marion Local losing their streak, as is every week.
Yeah, that would have been great. Taking a look now here quickly at the Southwestern Buckeye League. We make it sound like we're such Marion Local haters. We are not, by any means.
Speak for yourself.
I think it would have been cool for Anna to win. That's all, you know.
I think
dynasties are meant to end.
I think the streak is cool.
It is cool. You know, it is really cool. Nation's longest active streak, 73 now. It's pretty impressive. They got Coldwater as well, too. So up in the MAC.
15 state titles in 25 years is insane.
It's got to be the youth programs because they got those farm country boys churning just
that's crazy.
Hay every year. I don't know what they got, what they're feeding. Those guys are getting Miracle Grow in their cereal every morning.
Since I've been alive, they've won 15 state championships.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
It is wild. And always
super impressive.
Yeah. And then always an exciting Week 10 rivalry for Marion Local and Coldwater. So maybe Coldwater can be the team to knock them out, but I think Marion Local's close few was past Anna and Versailles there, and now I think they may be well on their way to another state championship because nobody they ever see in the playoffs ever seems to give them a grief except for their teams in the MAC, who they play in the regular season, which is just wild.
Well, I mean,
they're not in the same division.
Seeing how close all those games were, especially the Anna game. Obviously, I wasn't there for Versailles, and that was a play away from being a loss, bad call away from being a loss. The Anna game was truly a play away,
right?
Because it was just a missed 2-point conversion in the second overtime period. So, you know,
Tough
if they do see these conference teams again in the postseason, who knows?
Yeah,
who knows? It's going to be a toss up again.
I don't know who else is Division 7 though. I think everybody else is D6 7? And D5. That's why they're so lucky to just get all these other teams that they just. I won't call Marion Local lucky, but it's nice probably to not have to see any MAC teams later on. So, all eyes on that one as well. We won't have Coldwater Marion Local highlights, but of course we will have that score for you. We're going to be talking about if Coldwater wins. A couple other games we're also going to have. We are going to have Fairmont and Beaver Creek. We're also going to have Alter and CJ. Always once a great rivalry. CJ coming off their first win of the season, so credit to Marcus Colvin and the Eagles. They beat Carroll, finally got that first win. But Alter should take care of business in that one. And then we'll also have Miamisburg at Springboro, Fairborn at Butler. We're also going to have a DPS game in Dunbar at Meadowdale. And we will have Brookville and Franklin. Before we go to break, we'll take a quick look at the Southwestern Buckeye League before we get into our preview of our next game of the week. Valley View still looking like one of the most dominant teams as well in our area. They're going to be a team to watch in Division 5 for the playoffs. They have rattled off 8 straight wins since losing that 49-48 overtime thriller to Coldwater at home. So they just beat Brookville 27-7. So the Spartans hand the Red Devils their first loss of the season. Brookville, though, not far behind at 5-1 in the conference, but Valley View looking like it is going to be a Buckeye Division champs for the second straight year.
They were the ones. That's 3 in the last 4 years.
Correct. Yes. Yes, because the Swabble is the weird one where there's head-to-head and your conference record only counts for if you play within your division within the Swabble. They make it tricky. But pretty good game shaping up. So Brookville with a chance for redemption against the Southwestern leader in Franklin. Franklin 4-0 in the Southwestern Buckeye League standings in their half. 4-5 overall. They're coming off 4 straight wins now, so it should be a good one in that. We're going to have more on the teams in some other conferences and how things are shaping up as we get into Week 10. And, of course, more on our game of the week as Wayne and Centerville collide once again in an exciting showdown at High Camp Stadium. More on that coming up here on Operation Football Preview for Week 10.
Welcome back to Operation Football Preview. Now that we've recapped Week 9, we're going to look ahead to this regular season finale, Week 10, here in Ohio. And our game of the week features none other than GWalk rivals Wayne and Centerville. And coming into this year, everybody probably would have thought this game might shape out to be a little more meaning.
Yeah.
A little more
GWalk title implications.
A little more at stake, especially Centerville coming off back-to-back GWalk titles. But the Elks have had a little bit of a down year under first-year head coach John Puckett, but they still do have something to play for as of the computer rankings that came out on Tuesday. I'm going to pull them back up again to make sure I get it right. Wayne is locked into their position. They would really only be playing for seeding at this point.
Sure.
And computer rankings, here we go. Centerville was either 15 or 16. I just want to get it right. They are 16.
Okay.
And the top 12 make it in. So it wouldn't be...
Outside looking in?
Yeah, it wouldn't be crazy for Centerville to get a win and the math to fall in their favor and them end up being in that top 12 to make the postseason. So the Elks do kind of still have something to play for, even though they have an outside chance. It is still a chance. Wayne, on the other hand, like I said, just pretty much playing for playoff seeding right now as they're currently 6th in their region of Division I.
Yeah, it's like you mentioned, it's not what we maybe would have expected from a Centerville team that's always been very consistently.
Excuse me, they're 7th now.
Now 7th?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. So
after their loss to Beaver Creek.
Right, which is one of the other shockers, as we mentioned in the first half of this. So not completely out of the world for Centerville to go in and...
Centerville beat Beaver Creek earlier this year. So
if you're looking based on that and maybe a Wayne team that's vulnerable to perhaps the run, then, yeah, this is a favorable matchup if you're John Puckett and the Centerville Elks. Quickly looking at Centerville before I let you get into that crazy Wayne Beaver Creek game. There's some wild stats in that one. Springboro put up 433 total yards of offense against Centerville, but not too shabby for the Elks, though, 328. So it makes sense this was a shootout. Springboro winning that one 30-20. Another kind of close game for the Elks. They really haven't ever been, at least in conference play, they have not been, I don't believe, shut out or been really manhandled. I think they've had a lot of close games, just as we've seen with Fairmont. The poor Firebirds have lost games like two 1-point games and a handful of 3 or less. So just kind of the way the season's gone, I think, for Centerville, which is unfortunate. But, I mean, you look at the plays from this game, 15-yard touchdown pass, 80-yard touchdown pass, 54-yard touchdown run, 20-yard touchdown run, 39-yard touchdown. I mean, it's a big play after a big play in this game, and the offensive stats kind of prove it. 352 yards through the air for Max Miller and the Panthers. But Parker Johnson from Centerville, 32 rushing attempts, 240 yards.
He leads the league
on
in
the ground,
rushing.
which is unbelievable because you would have thought Logan Doty and that Fairmont run-heavy offense would be there. He is in second place, but much further behind now. Parker Johnson.
It's like 1,100 yards.
Yeah, 1,116 yards to Logan Doty's 962. And Max Miller leading in passing yards. Very close race, though, there in the passing title race, I guess you could say. Max Miller with 1,891 yards, and Kai Graham from Wayne with 1,841 yards. So, obviously some, athletic offenses there that we continue to see on display from both Wayne and Springboro, as well as Springfield. However, it was not Wayne's night against, who would have thunk, Beaver Creek, a team that has historically struggled in the GWAC and has been down. Second year now under Trace Smitherman, trying to get things turned around, running that triple option, taking a page out of Dave Miller's book. And they get their first win over Wayne since 2012, beating the Warriors in major upset fashion, 20-17.
And the numbers tell the story. 273 rushing yards by the Beavers compared to Wayne's 39.
That's
now Kai Graham did have 200 passing yards still.
Yeah, right. But this is the best part.
No passing touchdowns.
How about the best part, though? Beaver Creek's passing stats. Let's hear those.
Yep. Passing stats for Beaver Creek. 1 completion on 3 attempts for 16 yards. No touchdowns.
3 attempts, 1 completion is
mind-boggling. That is committed to your game plan.
Run the dang ball. And they win.
Really, the overall yardage wasn't far off. Beaver Creek only outgained Wayne by 50 yards,
right.
289 to 239. But if you are Centerville and you're Puckett with a Parker Johnson on your hands, and you've seen how successful Beaver Creek was at being able to run the ball on this Wayne defense, again, 273 yards. You said Johnson himself rushed for over 200 last week.
Yep.
How did Wayne do against Fairmont?
Wayne...
Back in 7, I want to say, week 7, week 6.
Wayne won 21-18, one of those other close losses.
And how many
Fairmont.
Yards did Fairmont rush for?
Fairmont rushed for 288 yards. So I know what they're doing at practice at Wayne this week. Stop that run. You got to be able to do it against these teams that run the triple option. So.
Obviously, Centerville's not one of those, but with having the power back that they have in Parker Johnson, maybe this is the game that Centerville comes in and shocks the world and maybe fights their way into a playoff spot.
Yeah,
we'll see, but I still think, based on the flip side of that, as much big plays as Centerville has given up, Wayne has just as good a chance to score just as easily. And we could just see another shootout.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm anticipating.
You never know how these GWAC games are going to go, and you're going to be the first person to see it all unfold. Kayler going back out for that game of the week, but it was if you're Centerville and you walk away with a win here in week 10 right before the playoffs, you're 4-3 to end the season in conference play after starting 0-5. Obviously, those 5 losses, only featured 2 GWAC teams. But, I mean, if you're in the playoffs, you have to feel pretty good that, hey, at least we have some second life here and we can, try to make something happen here and a whole new season now. Postseason ball is different. And, maybe they're just kind of like Springfield's always been, late bloomer. Kind of seems like Springfield always finds their rhythm late. So we'll see what that Centerville-Wayne game has in store for us. Like we mentioned, we're also going to have Fairmont-Beaver Creek. Alter CJ out of the GCL. Baden is going to win the GCL title. Alter going to come in second in that one, very likely. But Alter staring down the gun of another win for Ed Domsites in the Knights. Interesting matchup, though, coming up here in the GWAC between Springboro and Miamisburg. Springboro would be looking for their 4th straight win, likely to probably be the favorites in that one. But Miamisburg coming off a win over Northmont. That's their first win since week 1. So maybe the Vikings can try to give a little problems to the Panthers. As we also mentioned earlier, Brookville at Franklin, an exciting Squabble showdown. Fairborn and Butler in the MVL also has a little bit of interest, only just because it's 2 teams with very similar records. Butler 4-4 in the conference. Fairborn is 3-5 and 4-5 overall. Butler is 4-4 overall and 5-4 in the conference. That one at Butler. And then a little DPS action for you. Meadowdale and Wayne, both the two top teams. I'm sorry, thank you. Meadowdale and Dunbar, rather. We already have Wayne playing Centerville. That'd be wild. Tough night for Wayne to have to play 2 games. Meadowdale leading the conference right now. Right behind is Dunbar. Dunbar, it is Meadowdale's, though, to lose, so we could see them winning, the Lions winning their second straight DPS title. But plenty of exciting games here for you. Week 9, we saw some great ones. Hopefully Week 10 has a few more on tap for us coming up again. And we're just getting ready now. It's going to be this kind of change to playoff football. And your first taste of Ohio football playoff.
Let's do it.
It's going to get cold soon.
It already is.
It is cold. We love that weather, though. Football's here, and Operation Football is here as well for another week. Be sure to join Kayler Smith out there for Game of the Week at High Camp Stadium, Centerville, Wayne. I'll be in the studio as well with all these games and more. Our band and cheerleaders of the week as Operation Football returns this Friday, 10:45 in the CW, 11:10 on Channel 2. We'll have all the highlights and scores for you, and then we'll be back here one more time. Operation Football preview for the final time of 2025 as playoffs get underway. The road to Canton begins. Kayler Smith, Joey DeBerardino. We'll see you next week right here on Operation Football Preview.